Regardless whether you like it or you don't like it, you love it, you hate it, one thing for damn sure, you are gonna respect it.
Yo, what it do? Welcome back to All the Gold Podcast. It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. AEW Dynamite review. Listen, I am recording this late because I've been watching the Eastern Conference Finals, and I cannot believe that the damn New York Knicks blew a 14-point lead with a minute and 30-something seconds to go. And now I'm watching double overtime looking back. The score is 138 to 135. This is why people don't watch the NBA. Because of shit like that. No defense playing. You got Karl Anthony Towns just throwing up. They started a run. They was on a run. They went 10-0 when Jalen Brunson was out. Karl Anthony Towns started just shooting threes. Like, you're a big man. Like, I don't like when the big man shoot the three. Whatever, man. Anyway, we're here to talk about Dynamite. So listen, AEW Dynamite kicks off live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And Tony Schiavone was in the ring, and he started off the show. He calls out Hangman Adam Page and then calls out Will Ospreay for face-to-face before the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, the match they had for the Owen Hart finals. And I think this was a great promo from both guys. Both of them really, put especially Will Ospreay. I think he put he I won't say he put, but he had a good promo. So I can't even get the words out so damn late right now. But yeah. So Ospreay and Hangman Adam Page had a face to face, and Ospreay tells security to leave. He asks Hangman, "Is he good? Is there going to be any violence?" Then he asks the crowd for beers, and then one guy in the crowd says, "You're wasting TV time." So I thought that was funny, He said, "You wasted TV time," and it was like a real awkward silence from everybody in the crowd for like a brief, 2-second period. And then he said he petitioned Tony Khan for them to have the main Tony Khan and the board of directors. And I said, well, whoever the hell they are, because I didn't know they had a board of directors. But he said he petitioned them to have the main event at Double or Nothing. So then he goes on to say that he leaves his home in England and flies 15 hours to get back and forth from the States and make sure he gets to his shows. He's jet lagged, and he suits up and he tells the timekeeper to ring the bell, bruv. So, he's basically saying that, there's no excuse for him. He gets and do what he has to do. He goes back and forth, travel across the pond, gets back to England, leave on a Tuesday, come back, do his show, And then let me see. He said he wants to make his supporters proud, talking about the people who supported him on his journey to get to AEW or get to the States, period. And then Hangman says this is personal. He said this is personal. He says he doesn't want it. He needs it. I'm talking about the AEW championship. And then Hangman says for 2 years he won nothing in the AEW. He wants his family to look at him and believe in him. And for the ones who didn't support him when he didn't do right, or basically when he didn't deserve it, to believe again. And then Will says, what is he going to do about it? Basically, and they had that little tense stare down. And then he says he's going to wrap a chair around his head like he did Christopher Daniels? And then he goes on to say Hangman lost himself with his personal agendas and says that he's battled the best and he came out on top, talking about Jericho, Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, just over the time from him becoming a professional wrestler all the way up to AEW, he battled the best. Basically, this is Will Ospreay talking. And he said he will have Hangman's back. If Hangman wins the title, Will Ospreay said he'll have his back, and if Will Ospreay wins the title, he asks Hangman, is he going to have his back just to get the belt off of Jon Moxley? And then they both have a stare down with each other, and they both chug up some beers, looked at each other, and just had it's like a I won't say awkward, but it was just a stare, and then they walked up the ramp and they both looked at the Owen Hart Cup. Overall, I thought this was a good promo. I thought this was a good promo to showcase both men, and then basically, just the story that they were trying to present. I guess they try to accumulate in this one promo. I don't think Hangman wins this, man. I think Ospreay actually wins this match and goes on to face John Moxley at All In. Anyway, moving on, because this was a long. These two segments was long as hell. Moxley was shown walking through the concourse of the arena, and he said tensions are rising. And they do a lot of the backstage stuff coming to the arena. That's the Death Riders. And then there was John Moxley versus the John Moxley, excuse me, the Young Bucks versus Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Swerve Strickland for a trios match. Joe and Mox, they started slugging out in the ring to start the match. Hobbs and Nick Jackson tags in, and then they battle a little bit. Swerve and Matt Jackson gets in the ring. They tagged in from both parties. Swerve hit a nasty backbreaker on Matt Jackson. All 6 men got in the ring. Mox hits Mox threw let me see, who did he throw out? Oh, he threw out Hobbs outside of the ring, and then he hit a tope suicida to Hobbs. And Swerve, he hit a rolling flatliner to Nick, and then Nick rolled out the ring, and then he ran and hit a diving moonsault onto Nick from outside the ring. That was pretty cool. Joe hit a tope suicida and taking out both Mox and the Young Bucks. So this match was like a little fast paced, and they was just all over the place. And you know how I don't like doing the triple threats, because I mean, like all the fast paced matches, because there's just too much action going on. I'm just summing all some of this stuff up, so y'all gotta bear with me. So after Samoa Joe hits the tope suicida, taking out Nat and Mick Jackson and plus Mox, they went to the commercial break. And then Mox was dominating Powerhouse Hobbs as the commercial ended. Mox tags into Nick. Nick trying to outbest Hobbs, but Hobbs takes him down with a clothesline. Swerve tags in and takes down Nick Jackson. Swerve goes for the tag, but Mox takes out Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs. He ran into him, just knocked him off the ring apron. Let me see. What did I say right there? Oh, Nick does a couple moves on Swerve, because I was right real fast. And then Matt dives to the outside to keep Joe and Hobbs at bay. So basically, the Death Riders was basically, and the Elite was getting the best of them. After the break, like I said, this match was like 3 pages long in notes. After the break, Mox hits a pile driver to Swerve with and then he put up the middle finger. I'm like, okay, whatever. Swerve hits Mox with a headbutt, recovers, and then he tags in Joe. Hobbs go for a frog splash on the Matt Jackson, but Nick broke up the count and saved him from the pin. The Bucks hit a super kick to Hobbs, lays him out. Joe hits a double lariat to both of them. Swerve hits a stomp to the Young Bucks on the outside of the ring after they threw him out. Hobbs hit the 3 spine busters, all 3 participants, Mox and the Young Bucks. The Bucks hit a superplex on the Swerve. Then he goes for the V trigger, and then Joe hooks on the coquina clutch to Matt and then chokes him out, while Swerve gets the roll-up pin on Nick for the win. Whew. But that's not all, folks, because afterwards the Death Riders attacked. The Death Riders started attacking Hobbs and Joe and Swerve Strickland, but Katsuyori Shibata comes down for the save. And then he got low blow by Marina Shafir. Then Willow Nightingale comes down, and she comes in for the save. After that, Kenny Omega comes to the ring, hits a couple of snap German suplexes to Wheeler Yuta and Matt Jackson, and then hits a V trigger to Matt. Kenny Omega attempts the one-winged angel, off of the apron onto the tables that was set up by swerving them, I guess. And I think Claudio came and made the save. Joe then grabs the mic and says they're not waiting for Double or Nothing. They're coming for them tonight. So, like I said, that was a lot, right? So after all that happened, my take on this real quick, I just think that the match was all over the place. I did like the action. I did like some of the in-ring stuff that was going on. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty cool. It's just to me that I don't think you need a whole bunch of trios matches and triple threats all the time. I feel like AEW does that a lot. But overall, I did enjoy the match. Just not a fan of writing down all this stuff, though. It's a lot going on. Anyway, and that was the main event for that one. Oh, and one more thing about the Swerve and the trios match that was going on. Yeah, man. So I don't understand it. Is Willow Nightingale and Marina Shafir going to be a part of this match? I'm not sure. Um, I'm not sure if they're going to be a part of the match exactly. But hopefully, they find a way to get them in. Maybe it looks like they are going to be in a match. So, and this was the graphic that they had. You know how AEW gives you the stuff late. But anyway, moving on. So next up was the Hurt Syndicate. They was backstage and said that it's a momentous occasion for them to add a fourth member. MJF comes out with a gold suit and he looks excited. And it looked like he's ready for what's to come. Finally, with the Hurt Syndicate and wrap this shit up. So the Hurt Syndicate was on in the ring. They called out MJF to the ring to sign the contract. MJF does come out and he hits the jabs on the Albuquerque crowd, and calls his mom a bitch. I don't understand that. I would never call my mom a bitch. That's crazy. I know you're playing the heel character, but that is the woman that birthed you, sir. So anyway, MVP does the same thing. He calls out Albuquerque. He says they don't have no sports towns. Like, what are they known for? Shit like that. So then Mark Sterling introduces the contracts. MVP Shelton Benjamin starts to sign. Bobby Lashley looked like he was hesitant to sign a little bit. And I was like, please don't let him go into this thing where he's undecisive about signing MJF. I just want to get this shit over with because it's time to roll on. And then the music hits. So at first I was thinking it was like, oh shit, here comes Cedric Alexander, because I was thinking maybe Cedric Alexander, they're going to swerve everybody. But no, MJF is with the Hurt Syndicate now. And Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara came out. They called the Sons of Texas. That's the name of they're the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. They come out and then they cut a promo. And Rhodes said some crazy shit. And I had to catch myself because he said, hurt me, jump on me. And I was like, hey, yo, pause. He said, hurt me, jump on me. I was like, okay. That was wild. But anyway, it was a weird promo. Dustin stumbled with his words a little bit. And rather than that, I don't really care about that setup right there. Because you know that you're not going to win against the Hurt Syndicate. You're the Ring of Honor World Tag Team. Are their titles on the line? I'm not sure if their title's on the line, but I know that they are challenging the Hurt Syndicate at Double or Nothing for the AEW World Tag Team Champion. So overall, I'm glad if this is it, I'm glad that it ended. I'm glad MJF is in the group now. Finally, we can move on to another part of the story where they pursue maybe the him getting his Triple B back. So overall, I just think that I'm ready to move on from this match, from this whole segment, and thank God it ended. I was a little bit disappointed in Cedric Alexander. I thought they can do something with that, but obviously, it looks like they're not going to bring him on board to AEW. So we'll see. Renee Paquette was backstage with Kazuchika Okada. Okada cuts a promo on Speedball Mike Bailey, saying that he will see him at Double or Nothing, and he's going to find out why he's the Continental Champion. And I thought he was going to do his regular shtick of calling him a bitch, but he actually didn't. So, and moved on to commercial. Anthony Bowens versus Ricochet. It was a good back and forth match. Both competitors was giving it their all back and forth. They was testing out the waters at first, getting a feel for each other, temperature check. I'm just gonna wrap it up and get to the end. Bowens hit the mollywop, and then Billy, for some reason, Billy Gunn gets into the match, right? And he interferes for some reason. I'm not sure what the interference that he was trying to do. It looked like he was trying to get the ref's attention, and then your boy Ricochet, he commits attempted murder. Like, come on, man, you got to stop stabbing people with these damn scissors. That looks crazy as hell. You stabbing people with the scissors and stuff, man. I'm like, yo, what are you doing, man? So anyway, yeah, he stabbed what's the boy name? Anthony Bowens in the head with the scissors. And after he got the pin on that one, you haven't even seen him for the rest of the segment, because soon after he hit Ricochet with the scissors, Mark Briscoe comes out, and Mark Briscoe meets him at the top of the ramp because Ricochet was gloating at the top of the ramp. And then he brings the stretcher out, and he awkwardly looks at him for some reason. Then Ricochet notices him, and then he fights him down to the ring. He gets him onto the stretcher. He climbs the turnbuckle from the post and then try to do the froggy bow, but Ricochet gets off the stretcher and rolls back up the ramp. Overall, I thought that was a pretty decent. It was a quick match. It was pretty decent. I do like Anthony. I like Anthony Bowens versus Ricochet. I thought it was pretty cool, like their back and forth action. It was a little fast paced, but it was also they did some hard hits in it. But I just don't like the golden scissors thing. You can miss me with that. You stabbing somebody in the head. That looks stupid, man. That's attempted murder, man. Let me rest your ass, Trevor. Anyway, moving on. Stokely Hathaway was backstage with FTR, and they cut a promo on Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness. Called Daddy Magic bitch ass. I was like, whatever. Anyway, and then he says this will be Nigel McGuinness' last contract he ever signed as a professional wrestler, and they'll do that tomorrow night on Collision. Next up, we had the face-to-face with Mercedes Moné and was it Jamie Hayter? I believe it was Jamie Hayter. Let me see. Yeah, Mercedes Moné and Jamie Hayter. And with Renee Paquette, she was in the ring and she called both of them down. Hayter says she's not annoying. She says she's not Mercedes and she's not annoying like Mercedes is. And then she says she's a little rough around the edges, but she's a fighter. Mercedes called herself the Beyonce of women's wrestling. I was like, what the hell are we talking about? Like, you're the Beyonce of women's wrestling? That was crazy. And let me see. Hold on. I think I have an image of that one. Let me see. They always give me that boo. But nah. She said she calls herself the Beyonce of women's wrestling, and she will go down and not say go down, excuse me, she will win and go to All In and challenge Toni Storm for the Women's World Championship. This is what Mercedes Moné is saying. Hayter then says she looked like she's missing something and starts to talk about her losing everything and talking about her belts. And that's when Mercedes get up and attacks her. Jamie catches her with a vicious lariat to lay her ass out. And then out comes Toni Storm down to commentary. And if we move on to that one, we go straight into the main event, which is crazy. Let me see. Yeah, we go straight to the main event. This is actually like two really long ass matches and a lot of talking. So really, Timeless Toni Storm coming out of the ring on commentary, and she hits the main event. Mina Shirakawa versus Julia Hart, which I thought was a pretty nice match, really, really decent match. And you can see that they're pushing Mina Shirakawa. They're pushing her to the top because she was there previously. I believe she worked AEW previously and challenged Toni Storm before. But I really think that they are behind her right now. And she's got to she's gonna have a rocket strap to her back. I think she's the next big thing in AEW. And I was trying to find you guys a quick picture of Mina Shirakawa. Let me see. Because like I said, AEW is hard to get graphics for AEW. Here's Toni Storm too. Let me see. Save. All right. So yeah. So here we go. Give me 1 second, guys. You know I'm my own engineer. But yeah. So there's only one I have. But anyway, Mina Shirakawa, as you can see right there on your left, and Julia Hart. Everybody knows Julia Hart on the right. They had great back and forth action between the two. Toni Storm was hilarious on the mic. She was saying her usual shtick of obscene jokes, underlying jokes that if you're an adult and you get it. If you're a child, yeah, you probably won't get it. But anyway, she hits her jokes, and then she says what happened to Mina's new music, and if those who didn't know, Mina Shirakawa debuted with new music last week, but they immediately changed it when she won the match, and then she went backstage because the crowd was like, "What the hell's going on? That's not her music." But I'm like, her damn her music now sounds like the damn the end of the Fast and the Furious 5 when they was in Brazil when they did the bank heist, when they took the vault and they was on the highway with the Rock was chasing them and all that stuff like that. When the police were chasing them. Remember Fast and Furious 5 when they had they took all that money in that big safe and they was driving across with the garbage truck and it was like doo, 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 doo. That's exactly what it sounded like. So I was not impressed with her music anyway. So let me see what happened. Okay, so Mina go back and forth with Julia. She wins with a roll up. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. She wins with a roll up. Sky Blue comes out and then she attacks. No, first of all, Mina got the roll up. Julia Hart attacked, but Mina Shirakawa reversed it, put her in the figure four. That's when Sky Blue came out, kicked her in the head. Tony Storm got mad, got into the ring, gave a German suplex to Sky Blue, knocked her out. And then that's when Tony and Mina had a stare down, got face to face. And Mina went to go grab the belt, give it to Tony, but Tony snatched it away from her, but Mina wouldn't let go. And that's when they got into it. Mina put her in the figure four onto the pole. And Luther, big ass, I'm like, you like 6'7", and you jumping around going like this instead of, getting her off Tony. I would have been like, you're fired off the break, yo. Because you look like a big ass clown out there. Because she ain't nothing but like 5'1", and you couldn't take that little woman off her. Come on, man. You a joke, man. Get it together. Get it together, yo. And after that, this is some crazy shit because I'm thinking it's going off the air because they said main event. Renee was backstage with the Young Bucks and they saw they're late for a flight and they got to catch the flight. And then Matt says, remember when Joe promised they was going to get us? We're leaving. We got to catch a flight. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And I thought they was actually leaving to go, but that's when Joe popped out of nowhere, hit him with a metal trash can. They start brawling all across the arena, you know what I'm saying, as far as, the backstage, and they brought it out to the arena. It was just a couple quick points. They hit a double frogs, just brawling, usual anarchy in arena shit, trash cans, like a big ass hardcore match. They did do a double frog splash off the top ropes. Nat and Mick. Damn, I can't even talk tonight. Nat and Mick. If I can't get these damn boys' names right, Matt and Nick Jackson. God damn, they it's late, y'all. It's late. They basically jumped and did two frog splashes, one onto Swerve Strickland, the other one was to Kenny Omega. And then they was talking about his diverticulitis and how that's going to affect him. They hit a V trigger before they even did that. They did a couple of shits, but then the interesting thing is after it was all said and done, that dude, Gabe Kidd from New Japan, he came in the ring. And I'm thinking, okay, so if Gabe Kidd is going to come in, like, he's the equalizer for them, like, can we see Hook? Like, what's going on with Hook? So it was a good overall Dynamite. A lot of talking points in there, like a couple real long matches, and then a couple short matches. But overall, it was a good Dynamite. I enjoyed myself. It was decent go home show. I think it's gonna be a lot of title changes, man. But before I even do that, let's go over the Dynamite card for Double or Nothing because I'm gonna give my predictions on that real quick. And let's see, Double or Nothing. Yep. Let's see. Let's look at this match card real quick. Just give me 1 second, guys. Let's see. All right, so I got an updated card right here for Double or Nothing. Give me 1 second. Shit takes forever. All right, here we go. Sorry for the silence. All right, so as it goes for Double or Nothing, right? So here we go. The match card. I got it pulled up now. All right, so let's look at this. All right, so the first match is, let's talk about the men's Owen Hart tournament finals. Hangman Page versus Will Ospreay. I am going to go with Will Ospreay on that one. I'm gonna definitely go with Will Ospreay. I think Hangman Page, they're gonna put up a good fight, but Ospreay gonna come out on top. Does Ospreay need the win? I think so. I think both of them actually be legitimate threats to Jon Moxley. Whoever wins, it don't matter. But I would like to see Ospreay get it. I already saw Hangman Page. I really wasn't impressed with his first title run, but I would like to see what Will Ospreay would do. I just like his promos. Hey, bro. Let's see. The next one was the women's Owen Hart tournament finals. Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné. I am actually going to go with. Hold on, let me remove that. I am actually going to go with. What did I do? I'm going to go with Mercedes Moné. She retains. It's going to be Mercedes versus Tony Storm, probably at All In Texas. Anarchy in the Arena. Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland. Oh, Willow Nightingale, isn't it? So Willow Nightingale, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Katsuyori Shibata versus Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Marina Shafir, Wheeler Yuta, and the Young Bucks. That one, I'm going to go with the babyface team of Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland. I think they take it out. I think they take them out. It's going to be a little confusion and miscommunication with Jon Moxley and the Death Riders with the Elite. Let's see. AEW Women's World Championship. Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. Toni Storm retains. They're putting the rocket on Mina Shirakawa's back, but Toni Storm's going to retain. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The AEW World Tag Team Championship. The Hurt Syndicate versus Sons of Texas. Hurt Syndicate. Come on, man. Who are we kidding? Let's see. The AEW Continental Championship match. Kazuchika Okada versus Mike Bailey. Speedball puts up a good fight, but Kazuchika Okada wins. I think they're gonna gear to a program of unifying the Continental Championship and the International Championship that Kenny Omega has and make it one belt. And it's gonna be Okada versus Omega in AEW finally. And then we got the stretcher match: Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet. That is going to be Ricochet going to win. They're going to give it to Ricochet. I would like to see Mark Briscoe win, but they're going to give it to Ricochet. FTR versus Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. That's going to be a hard one to call. But I'm going to give it to FTR. Nigel McGuinness. I saw him in the ring when they pumped him up going against, I think, who was they pumping him up against to go against when he first? Was it Edge? I forgot who it was. They was pumping him up to get in the ring again. And anyway, no, it was Daniel Bryan. It was Daniel Bryan right before Bryan had left on leave. And that match was ass. He looked so damn out of place and rusty. I think Michael Cole could have did a better job than him. It was terrible. It was terrible. But ladies and gentlemen, that is my match card predictions. And this is the stream for tonight. We are going to go live. I'm not going to go live, or I'm not going to do a video tomorrow for Collision because I have to rest up. Because we got Friday Night SmackDown, we got we got Saturday Night's Main Event live, we got Battleground live, we got Raw live, we got Tuesday NXT, and then we got to go Wednesday next week for Dynamite. So I'm gonna take a break tomorrow. We ain't gonna see any videos tomorrow, but please catch us live Friday night. We're gonna be live for the next for all weekend. We're gonna be live each show, and we will have me and Coop will be on together for that one. So any questions, comments, please continue to like, share, and subscribe on these videos. It helps us out, please. And I forgot what else I want to say to you guys. Like, share, subscribe, and look, we love you over here at All the Gold, man. Like I said, anytime you guys got a question, want to answer it, ask a question, we will answer it live as we're recording. So hope to see y'all there Friday. Continue to look out for our top 10 too this Friday. I think I forgot what the top 10 was this week, but I'll let you guys know on Friday. We'll let you guys know at the beginning of the program. But for all that, you guys, just want to say peace and good night.